Okay. I hope it's working now. Yes. So what is demand? We were trying to define demand. Demand is a by product at its price. Its price. Price. Come on. Let's call it. Not only willingness to be a demand. You should have ability. Things in desire. Have desire. So many things you have desired. Why until you have ability, there is no need for it. That's a willingness, desire, plus ability buy a product at its market price. That will be ultimate. According to law of demand, price and suppose price is and demand is that price increases to 12, demand will become 80. Price increasing to 14, demand will become 60. Price increasing to 16, demand will become say 48. I mean, if a price increases, demand will decrease. There is an inverse relationship between price and demand. If price increasing, demand will decrease, and if a price decrease, demand will increase. Why? Why? If one product price is increasing, its demand will decrease. Why? People will prefer the other alternative goods whose price is still the same, not changed. Like take an example of butter and margarine. If butter increase, people will prefer margarine. If price of margarine will increase, people will prefer butter. So that is called a substitution effect. I mean, if one product price, people prefer substitute. If product is decreasing, demand will instead of buying a substitute, people will go to buy it. They will move substitute to that's called substitution effect. There is an effect called income effect. For price increase, the change for price increase. Seen before the time and products. Due to the easy price, they are not technical buyers. Same, so they will be able to buy only because this has released and they doesn't that's the easy price demand increase. If price decrease before the buying products, the price decrease are buying still having pressure in they will buy more. If product is less. So why due to increasing price demand increases are due to increasing price demand increases due to substitution effect. Mean due to increase in price, people will move towards substitute. Due to decrease in price, people from substitute towards this because this is substitute for that product. Or due to income effect, mean due to increase in price, people income in income will go because it has increased very less. So we have we have discussed lot of demand between price and demand. And how the demand curve can be made. Suppose this is y, this is axis. On y axis we have created price 10, 12, 14, 16. Here we plot demand say 50, 30, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Please ask the price was 10. Demand was the price was 10, demand was 100. When price was demand was price increases to 12, demand decreases to 80, price decreases to 14, demand decreases to 60. Price increase to 14, demand decrease to 60, price increase to 16, demand decrease to 48. So when we join all these dots, we will be having this downward sloping demand curve T, which is moving from left to right and downward. I mean, demand curve is always downward sloping from left to right. So if there is a change in price, there will be movement over the demand curve, either increase or decrease. If any factor other than price changes, like consumer income changes, or fashion of this product changes, then there will be increase or decrease in demand. The movement over the demand curve will be called extraction or expansion of demand. And if any of the factor other than price changes like income changes, fashion changes, there will be increase or decrease in demand. And in that case, demand curve will shift to this, like this will be increase in demand, or shift to this like D to D2, this will be decrease in demand. So when there will be increase or decrease in demand, when the factor other than price changes. If price is changing, there will be no increase or decrease in demand. There will be extraction or expansion of demand. Now, let's read these things. So, demand tend to be higher at a lower price and lower at a higher price for most goods and services. When the demand for a good or service change in response to change in price, the change is referred to as expansion in demand or contraction in demand. We will not say this is increase or decrease in demand, because in case of increase or decrease in demand, the demand curve shift either upward mean in case of increase or downward mean in case of decrease. And that will be due to factor other than price. What are the other factors? Income, fashion changes. The demand curve illustrate a normal downward sloping demand curve, and a movement along this curve is a price changes would be called contraction and expansion of demand. That is due to price. And this will be due to substitution effect or income effect. What is substitution effect? If two goods are substitute, mean alternate to each other, a fall in price of the first will lead consumer to switch some demands to the lower price goods whose price has not been changed, for example, butter and margarine. What is income effect? This is where a change in the price of good affect the purchasing power of consumer income, because that doesn't change, that remains same. A change in their real income that is left. If the price of goods falls, the consumer experience a rise in their income, and as the result tends to buy more of all normal goods and services. In most cases, the income effect is relatively weak. Normally, the effect is mainly substitution effect. What is market demand? The demand for all the goods in the market, it will be called market demand, not for individual product, all the products in the market. So market demand shows the total amount of effective demand from all the consumer in a market, and market demand is represented by a straight line curve on a graph. The demand curve for most normal goods is negatively inclined, sloping downward from left to right. Conditions of demand. Conditions of demand mean factor other than price changing. Condition of demand mean change in factor other than price. And in that case, there will be increase or decrease in demand. Mean this is the demand curve. In case of increase, demand curve will shift from D to D1. And in case of decrease, demand curve will shift from D to D2. So individual and market demand only consider the influence of price of the quantity demanded, assuming other factors to be constant. These factors are termed as condition of demand and will now be considered with the price held constant. Any change in one or more of the condition of demand, mean factor other than price, will shift in the demand curve itself. If the shift is demand curve is outward, that will be increase in demand. If the shift in the demand curve is downward, that will be decrease in demand. Note that increase and decrease in demand result from a shift in demand curve as a whole, while expansion and contraction in demand result from price changes will lead to movement along the demand curve, mean point. There will be no shift in demand curve in case of change in price. So this is increase in demand. The main condition, what are the other factors? Consumer income changes. If consumer income has increased, they will prefer to buy more goods. If consumer income has decreased, price remains same, they will not be affording that much goods that they were buying before. Now they will buy lesser goods, so that will be increase or decrease in demand. Taste changes. Now their taste is of an other product rather than this. Price remains same, but demand will decrease. No, their taste have been increased regarding this product. This is tea and the season is winter. So now they want to taste tea. So demand will increase, even price will remain same. The price of other goods changes, especially in case of complementary goods. What is meant by complementary goods? Goods that can be used with each other, like printer and cartridge. If the cartridge price goes up, the demand for printer will reduce. Prices remain same. Printer prices remain same. The price of cartridge has increased, but the demand of printer goes down. Even printer price is same. So this is called factor other than price. Mean price of other good have changed. Our population has increased. Demand will increase to this. If population decrease, but there are rare chances, so demand will be reduced. So what are the factors other than price that causes the increase or decrease in demand? Consumer income, taste, price of other goods like complementary goods, or population. Now we are moving towards another topic called elasticity of demand. Elasticity of demand. That is also called price elasticity of demand, that is always denoted by PED. There is a formula to calculate price elasticity of demand, that is percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price into 100. Percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price into 100. Suppose price and quantity demanded QD. Price is 10, demand is 100. Price becomes 9, demand increase to 110. Price becomes 8, demand increase to 121. Price becomes 7, demand increase to 133. Price is decreasing, demand is increasing. If we want to calculate price elasticity of demand for only this portion, if price move from 9 to 8 and demand moves from 110 to 121, what is the price elasticity of demand? So price elasticity of demand mean PED formula is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price into 100. How we can calculate percentage change in quantity demanded? You have learned the formula how to calculate sales growth. 110 plus 121 divided by new minus old over old into 100. So what is the new demand? 121. What is the old demand? 110. What is the old demand? 110 into 100. So we will be able to calculate percentage change in quantity demanded. What's that? Can you calculate this figure, please? Quick. %21 into 100. 121 minus 110 over 110 into 100. How come it's 21? In 100 instead of 110. Is how much? 121 minus 110 divided by 110 10 into 100, it is 10%. 10%. 10? Yes. How to calculate a change in percentage change in price? New price is 8 minus 9 over old into 100. How much is that? 8 minus 9 over 9 into 100, that is 11.11% minus 11.11%. So we can say 0.10 divided by 0.111 into 100. So that will be how much? Can you calculate price elasticity of demand for 0.9%? 0.9%? 0.9. So that is price elasticity demand. What this price elasticity demand tells about? Price elasticity demand is a concept that we use to measure how much change in price will change the demand. Whether the change in price will make a change in demand or not. How much percentage change in demand will happen due to change in price? And this answer, if this answer is lesser than 1, or this answer could be greater than 1. Greater than 1, lesser than 1. In case answer is greater than 1, we will call this is elastic demand. What does that mean? Mean due to change in price, demand will change more. If the answer is lesser than 1, we will say inelastic demand. Mean change in price will make very small change in demand. Mean demand will not be affected as per change in price in case of inelastic demand. But in case of elastic demand, yes, demand is elastic. Mean due to change in price, demand will increase more. This means if we want to increase the sale, we can change the price. A little bit lower will increase more demand and will result into more sales. But in this case, if the answer is lesser than 1, the change in price will not impacting more on demand. Mean there are other factors that will affect the demand rather than price only. So after calculating the answer of elasticity of demand, how to calculate percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. If the answer is greater than 1, we will say demand is elastic. Means small change in price will increase the demand more. If the answer is lesser than 1, we will say inelastic demand, means change in price will create very small change in demand. So note that if percentage change is negative, the minus sign is typically ignored. And we need to see whether answer is lesser than 1 or greater than 1. In case answer is greater than 1, we call it elastic demand. And for normal goods like camera, air travels, the demand is always elastic. If the answer is lesser than 1, we will call it inelastic. For example, for tea, salt, if there is change in price, there will be very small change in demand because these are necessities. If any person want to drink tea, they will drink tea whether price will increase or decrease. If you want to use a salt in your food, you will use the same quantity of salt whether price will increase more or decrease less or more. There will be no change in demand. Or there could be small change rather than too much. If the answer is equal to 1, we will say unit elastic demand. Unit elastic means percentage change in demand and price will be same. If you decrease price by 10%, demand will increase by 10%. If you increase price by 20%, demand will decrease by 20%. Elastic means small change in price will make big change in demand. Inelastic means big change in price even creates small change in demand. Mean demand is not affected. The link between price elasticity of demand and total revenue. What is total revenue? Quantity into price is equal to revenue. Mean number of units into price per unit is equal to revenue. If total revenue increases following a price cut, mean you have reduced the price and your revenue has increased. Why it has increased? Because the demand is elastic. Small change in price down has increased your demand more and increases your total revenue. If the total revenue following a price rise, If the total revenue increases following a price rise, the demand is inelastic because the demand is not decreased. Your revenue increased. Why? Because you have increased the price. If suppose you are selling 10 quantity, price is a 10, your revenue is 100. If you have increased the price to 12 and your revenue has increased to 120, this means you are still selling 10 quantities. Increase in price has increased your total revenue. So this means demand is inelastic. There is no change in demand. If total revenue remain unchanged, the demand is unitary elastic. If total revenue remain unchanged, mean total revenue will remain same. Mean 10% prices increases, 10% demand decreases. Like you have changed the price to 9. So demand increases exactly by 10%. How much? 11.1. So this will remain same 100. Before this was the equation 10 into 10. Now you have decreased price 9, 10%. And exactly 10% quantity demanded increases, revenue remain same because the percentage change in price and percentage change in demand is the same. But if reduce in price, increasing your revenue. Why increasing your revenue? People are buying more and your revenue increases. This will be called elastic demand. If you have increased demand price, demand should be low. Revenue should be low. Yeah. But your revenue increasing instead. This means the price increase doesn't affect the demand. That's why your revenue increases in this case. Demand is same 10 units inelastic. But if you have changed the price and your revenue remain same, that will be called unit elastic, mean the percentage change in price is equal to percentage change in demand. Is it fine? MCQ's point of view. If the price elasticity of demand answer is lesser than 1, we will call it inelastic demand or relative inelastic. If the price elasticity of demand answer is greater than 1, we will call it elastic demand or relative elastic. If the price elasticity of demand answer is equal to 1, so elastic we will call it unit elastic. If due to decrease in price, your revenue increases, price demand will be called elastic. If due to increase in price, your revenue increases, inelastic demand. If you have changed the price, but revenue remains same, that will be called unit elastic. Moving forward. Factors that influence price elastic demand mean what are the factors that influence price elastic demand? Proportion of income spent on goods. If a small proportion of income spent on certain goods, price elasticity of demand will be inelastic. Like people spend very small amount on salt. Even the change in price will not affect the demand. So price elasticity of demand will be elastic or inelastic? Inelastic. If a large proportion of income is spent on certain goods, the price elasticity of demand will be elastic. A small change in price will result into change in more demand. Is that fine? This is one factor that affects the price elastic demand. What are the other factors? Substitutes. If there are substitute available, your demand will be elastic. If there are no substitute available, even due to change in price, there will be no effect on a demand. The demand will be inelastic. Can you understand this concept? If substitute are available, demand will be elastic. If you increase the price, demand will reduce. Why? People will prefer substitute. If there is no substitute, you increase the prices, or demand is still same. Why? There is no substitute to move on. So demand will be inelastic. Yes. Necessity. If the product is necessity, the change in price will not affect its demand. Demand will be inelastic. Yes. Habit. If the product is a habit of people, like cigarette, if the change in price will not affect more in demand, so demand will be inelastic. Time. In the short run, the demand will be inelastic, while in the longer run, demand will be affected, mean elastic. And the definition of a market, if the market of that product is a too wide, very big market, demand might be inelastic. If the market is a small, so price change will affect the consumer, the demand will be elastic. So what are the other factors that affect the price of your demand? Proportion of income spent on the goods, substitute, necessities, habit, time, and definition of the market. Now moving towards another concept called cross elastic demand. We have covered price elastic demand. Percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. What is cross elastic demand? That is denoted by XED. If the price of other goods changes, will affecting demand of your good, that will be called cross elastic demand. And if there are two products, product A and product B, price of product B changes, has changed the demand of A. By how much? If we want to calculate, we will calculate cross elasticity of demand. And what is the formula? Percentage change in quantity demanded of good A divided by percentage change in price of good B. In price of demand, for same product, we calculate the percentage change in quantity demanded and percentage change in price. But here, if price of other goods changing is making a change in your good, by how much? So we will calculate cross elastic demand. So cross elastic demand measures the sensitivity of demand for one good to change in the price of another good. Another good could be complementary, could be substitute. Formula, for example, suppose the XED of butter will respect to margarine. In price of margarine changes, but demand of butter has changed due to substitute. So that will be called cross elastic demand. And suppose we have calculated cross elastic, suppose the XED of butter and margarine is 1.5 and price of margarine is fall by 6%. We can estimate 1.5 into 6% is equal to 9%. Mean how to calculate this? So how to calculate price elastic demand? Percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price of similar goods. How to calculate cross elastic demand? Percentage change in quantity demanded of good A divided by percentage change in price of good B. Okay, now we are moving towards what is the supply. What was demand? Desire means willingness and ability to buy a commodity at market price. That is measured from a buyer point of view. Supply is normally measured from a seller point of view. What is this? Desire means willingness and ability to sell a commodity. to sell a commodity at market price. If you are selling a product, whether you want to sell more in case of increase in price or decrease of price. If you are a seller, when you want to sell more, when you want to offer your product in the market more for selling, when the prices goes up or going down? Going down. Why? If prices are going down, you want to sell more or to hold it? Hold it and wait for price increase. Yes. Because if price is increasing, your profit is increasing, you will try to sell all the stock in the market. Mean you will supply all the products in the market. If prices are decreasing, even product from the market, you will try to put into your holding because there is lesser profit. So price and demand is having inverse relation, while price and supply is having positive relation. Like this is price and this is supply. Price is a 10, you are supplying 100 quantities into the market. Price become 11, you will supply more. Price increasing to 12, you will supply more. Price increases to 30, you will supply more. Because if price is increasing, you are expecting more profit. You want to sell all the goods at higher price. But if price is decreasing, you will reduce the supply. Why? There is no profit. I will wait until prices increases, then I will supply. Even product from the market, you will be calling back. Offer less. Just for managing expenses. You don't need to sell more because if there will be shortage in the market, price will automatically goes up. Why you are supplying the shorter to create a shortage in the market? Because if there will be shortage, prices will automatically goes up. Being a businessman, demand is from buyer point of view, supply is from seller point of view. And the supply curve is always going upward. Price is this, supply is this. Price increases, supply increases, price increases, supply increases. So this will be called supply curve going upward from left to right. If there is a change in price, we will call it contraction and expansion of supply. If factor other than price changes, then supply will increase from S to S1 or supply will decrease from S to S2. What are the other factors other than price that can increase, decrease supply? Government taxes increases. If government have increased tax, your cost of production will be higher. In that case, your supply will decrease. Transportation cost increases, you will supply less. Yeah. Supply will be decreases. Let's see what is supply. So supply curve shows how many units producer will be willing to offer for sale at a different prices over a given period of time. Mean willingness, desire, and ability to sell a commodity at market price. This is underpinned by the desire to make a profit. The supply curve illustrate a normal upward sloping supply curve, and a movement along this curve as the price changes would be called contraction and expansion of supply. This will not be called increase or decrease in supply, because increase or decrease will happen due to factors other than price or due to condition in supply. Condition mean other factors. So a change in factors other than price will move the supply curve itself from S1 to S2, meaning increase in supply. An upward shift of supply, this means that supply has increased. This has resulted due to higher production cost. The cost of production may increase because the factors of production becomes expensive. So thus conditions such as a higher wages, cost per unit, higher input price and increased interest rate will lead to reduction in supply because profit become lower. If you are seeking more profit, you will supply more. If there is less profit, you will supply less. Taxes increases, you will supply more or less? Less, because profit is less. So the imposition of indirect tax such as VAT makes supply at existing price less profitable. With the indirect tax, the cost of production are raised directly because of tax must be paid on each item sold. The profit margin is reduced as an indirect effect. Downward. Technological innovation. If there is more technology, you will achieve more efficiency. Efficiency means cost cutting will increase your profit. You will supply more. Efficient use of existing factor of production. Factor of production means the resources you use to make production, you are using them more efficiently. Efficiency will result into lower cost, higher cost. Lower cost. Lower cost means more profit. More profit means there will be more supply. Lower input prices. Input means the things that we are putting to produce a product like raw material, bills. So there will be more profit, more supply. And indirect taxes, if reduced, profit is more, we will supply more. How in the market price is determined? Suppose this is the demand for a product, for single product, and this is the supply for a single product. Where they intersect here, this point will be called equilibrium point. This means in market you are providing this quantity and the price of this product in the market will be this. In the market, nobody can set the prices. Prices are set automatically with the equilibrium of demand and supply. If suppose demand increased from here to here, where it is intersecting the supply curve? Here. Now prices will automatically increase in the market from here to here. Quantity also increases because demand has increased. If suppose supply increased, where it is intersecting the demand curve here, price will automatically decrease. Because nobody can set the prices in the market. Prices are set according to demand and supply, free forces of demand and supply, and that is called equilibrium of price. Let's read. We have. So this is demand, this is supply. They are intersecting here, point E. So this price will prevail in the market. You know, above this equilibrium point, this means this quantity is existing in the market. Above this equilibrium point, if we see, this is demand and this is supply. Demand is this, supply is this. Whether supply more or demand more. Demand has from this to this decreased, while supply is more. So this will be called excess supply. In above the equilibrium point, what is there? Excess supply. If there is excess supply, mean demand is less, supply is more. What producer will do? They will cut down some of the supply. And if there is cut down some of the supply, it will automatically restore to this point and prices will automatically fall. So above equilibrium point, there is excess supply, means supply is more, demand is less, and it will automatically restore to the equilibrium point. Below this equilibrium point, if we see, suppose here, this line, supply is this, while demand is, sorry, quantity supply is this and demand is this. There is excess demand. Below this point, there is excess demand. If there is excess demand, prices will automatically goes up from here to here, mean will be restored over there automatically. Mean who set the prices in the market? Free forces of demand and supply according to equilibrium. If equilibrium is disturbed, automatically it will be restored to the equilibrium point and prices will come to the original stage. And in this line, this is supply. Supply is this Q3, while this is demand. Demand is Q2. So demand is more, mean excess demand. And if there is excess demand, prices goes up, mean prices automatically goes up from this to this. And here, this is demand and this is supply. Demand is Q1, supply is Q2. Means supply is more supply, excess supply. If there is excess supply, mean more supply in the market, but demand is lesser. If there is no demand, producer will sell its product at lower prices. So prices will move lower automatically and restore at equilibrium point. Nobody can affect the price. Only demand and supply will change the prices. And if suppose there was equilibrium at this point, demand and supply. If suppose demand increases from D to D1, so now it is intersecting on supply curve here. So price will automatically increase to P2. That's enough for today. We have discussed about microeconomic factors. About macroeconomic factor, we will discuss in next lecture. And in next lecture, we will wind up this chapter as well. We will cover some MCQs from the kit and we'll move towards next chapter. See you in next class.